I've already done 2 Electric Mistress videos before, but these ones are small. This one is big, and therefore better. First guitar in there I had set up with my favorite settings: low speed, high range, medium color. And then I did some noodling around with some more extreme settings. Bass players, I got you covered. Let's cover the basics first, and then we'll get into the truly pedal nerdy stuff. This is a flanger, and there are people who don't like flangers, and they're certainly entitled to that opinion. A flanger is just a chorus with a much shorter delay. A chorus adds enough delay where the delayed voice sounds like a second voice. A flanger typically starts with a delay in the single-digit millisecond territory, and that's short enough where we're going to have instances where the delay time is half the cycle time of the frequencies we're getting from our guitar, and that will cause them to be phased out. We just want to keep that in mind because these pedals have a filter matrix mode, which sounds really fancy. All it's doing is letting us sweep the delay time up and down manually using the range knob. And that might have worked the opposite of how you expected. If you didn't notice it, let me do it again with some white noise. And as we raise the knob, the filter dives lower. And that's because we're increasing the range by increasing the distance between the upper and lower limits by moving the lower limit. So higher knob means lower frequency. But it does make sense because it's not a frequency knob, it's a range knob. And then there's the color knob, and this affects the overall intensity or resonance or feedback of the circuit. You can see what's happening here, and if I shut up for a second, you can even hear it. And if we pop the clutch and turn off filter matrix mode, the oscillator will take over the duty of driving the delay time back and forth. So it'll oscillate based on where we set the range, according to the rate we set by the rate knob. Oh yeah, sounds just like the ocean. And I hope I made it extremely clear what all these controls are doing with respect to this effect, because in my first video for this Deluxe Electric Mistress, I didn't use the exact right words, and this guy got really upset. Wanted to talk to my manager. Now, because this is a predominantly guitar-focused channel, let's put those controls together with some guitar strumming. How about a little more of that slippery bass guitar sound? And I'm getting more and more requests to hear keyboards on here. I can do that. As mentioned at the top of the video, in previous videos we've looked at the XO-sized Deluxe Electric Mistress and Stereo Electric Mistress pedals. My feelings are that the Deluxe sounds like a flanger raised by a pack of choruses, and the Stereo, which is a digital pedal, tries to blend chorus with flanger by blending chorus with flanger. And I think it sounds great, but it should probably have another name. Kind of like how the Electric Mustang should have a name other than Mustang. Electric Mistress, Electric Mustang, it's a good analogy. But then I saw this sitting up for sale on an internet forum. That's right, an internet forum, because I'm in my 40s and Reverb is just one place to get pedals. This particular model is a 1999 to early 2000s deluxe reissue. What does that mean? Well, if we go to the Mistress Mystery webpage, sounds like something Gail would be into, we can see the lineage of this particular pedal, starting with the Blue Label version 1 in 1976-ish, into the iconic Green Label version. Then we get into the horizontally oriented big box pedals like this. There was even a green-faced one. That kind of looks familiar. And then the reissues. And like a lot of Electro-Harmonix pedals, there's no singular reference model for any of these. They just kind of evolve over time in terms of what parts are available. There's even subtle variations in the printing. Look at that. This is a really fun webpage. Do yourself a favor, bookmark it for a rainy day read someday. I will also point out that this particular specimen here, and I didn't realize this when I bought it, it's been modded by none other than Analog Man himself. So it's been made true bypass and it got an LED added. Neither of those mods should affect the sound at all. But when it comes to pedals like this, all I can say is that this pedal sounds like this pedal. And the only other Deluxe Electric Mistress that I can compare it to is this XO size one right here, which has the exact same controls. So let's do a little back-to-back. To me, this one is definitely louder. It's more present and maybe a little brighter. I've seen people complain about this one having a volume drop, so maybe this is Electro-Harmonix fixing it. I don't know if this makes sense, but the newer one to me sounds more flanger-esque, where I think this one gets more into some other territories. But I gotta tell you, I'm a big fan of this pedal. I've used it, I've recommended it, it's been on my pedal board. Look, I've even got the dual lock back here. But this, let me tell you, I sat down the other night and I'm going, all right, I'm gonna go through the embarrassingly rich catalog of half-hatched song ideas on my phone, and I'm gonna record something for this video. And I wound up going off on so many side quests because this pedal, it just speaks to me. I get it. It's doing all the right things. And needless to say, I had to wait until the next morning to actually record the video. And it could just be that I'm suckered in by this shiny metal case and nostalgia. But keep in mind, this one runs at 24 volts, this one at 9, so there's definitely a difference between them that's not just cosmetic. But don't get the wrong idea. Even Analog Man Mike himself says of the XO-sized Deluxe Electric Mistress that they sound quite nice. While we're here, I should also point out that at least according to EHX_engineering on Reddit, the Andy Summers Walking on the Moon pedal, that's the full name of it, it's just this pedal with a different chassis. Do with that what you will. But you gotta admit, there's something to a big box pedal, especially the way that Electro-Harmonix demands all of this space for a board that fits neatly into a relatively small portion of it. Kind of the way a cat proudly takes up half the bed. Sprout, I'm looking at you. I've got 3 quick things I want to cover before I sign off here. First, I recently took on a new role at my day job, which has me in a lot more meetings and even doing some traveling. And as if that doesn't have me busy enough, both bands I'm in are starting to actually get booked for gigs. I know. Now, I've always been a quality over quantity kind of guy. I hope you can appreciate that, but I'm really trying to ramp up the quality to make up for the lack of quantity. Second, I'm realizing that a lot of my videos are Boss and Electro-Harmonix, and part of that is just that they make a lot of the pedals that I like, and there's this big back catalog to go through. There's also just a wider audience for those pedals. There's a bigger demand for the videos. There's more responses in the comments, and that makes it feel more like an event. But I want to make sure that modern day independent pedal builders are being represented as well. So if you've got something that you're proud of and you want it to reach an audience, leave a comment, find me on Instagram, or My email is in here somewhere as well. I would love to have your pedal on here, and I know a lot of my viewers would as well. Third, thank you for all of your support. If you like this, you're probably already subscribed, but there's a lot of people who just rely on the algorithm to bring them here. So all I ask is that you make sure you're subscribed. Keep coming back. I'll catch you on the next one, probably in about a week and a half.